Hello.
Hello. So we're here and we're going to do a little more practice with 8.4. This goes along with the optional assignment for our e-learning in 2020. And what our suggestion is that if you were struggling on the first homework assignment, or maybe you didn't give it your all, you try some of these questions. And you by no means have to do all of them, guys, but we're going to do a couple of each kind with you. Logan's going to help me out today.
It should be tough.
Should be a little tough, yeah, but hopefully by the end we'll be okay. All right, so when I look at numbers 1 and 2 on this worksheet, they're very similar. They're multiplication questions, and I notice that there's no factoring because they're monomials. So what we're going to do is we're going to smush these numbers together. Uh-oh, Logan, I'm going to need a calculator. Will you go grab the yellow calculator on Daddy's desk? Yeah. It's so nice to have kids home. All right, so the numerator here, Logan's going to grab the calculator, so I don't have to do any thinking, but I need to do 13 times 14. You could sit here and watch me kind of figure it out. This fast kid. Thanks, buddy. All right, so 13 times 14, 182. Yes, I was totally going to say that. Not. And then for our variables, we have n times n to the 5th. So 1 plus 5 more gives you 6 n's up top in the numerator. All right, down in our denominator, I got this one. 3 times 15 is 45. And then you still have n to the 2nd. So, even on a good day, I wouldn't struggle with this coefficient. I would definitely not try to reduce things in my head. And frankly, I would have tried to cross-reduce and cancel.
What about the nn?
Yeah, we'll talk about the n's in a minute. But you're right, we do need to look at those. I don't think this one reduces. It doesn't. So that is your leading coefficient, but Logan's right. We should look at the n's and the n's. So if you have n to the 6th divided by n to the 2nd, this turns into a subtraction problem. Maybe Logan can help me with that one. What's 6 minus 2?
6 minus 2 equals 4.
Very good. It's a 4. All right. So we have n to the 4th up top in the numerator. So that's what we're going to be doing on those questions where there's monomials. We're going to smush them together. Phone call. Put your phones away, Mrs. Bruzo. All right. 3 and 4 are very similar. Again, they're monomials, but this time I noticed they are a division question. So remember, when you have a division question, you're going to change it to a multiplication question because you're going to reverse or flip the fraction that comes after the division. So we're going to keep the 6p over 8p squared just as it is. And I know there's some reduction there, but whatever. We'll come back to that. So remember, we reverse this. This is now a 20 over 17p. And then our suggestion is always that when you have these monomial multiplication questions, you smush them together. So this numerator becomes 120p. And then this denominator becomes, calculator assistant please. We need 8 times 17. It's 136. Now we already knew there was going to be reduction. But since I'm using a calculator, I'm not really that worried about it. Now we have p to the 2nd plus another p. So we have 3 p's there. All right, now what I need to do, Logan, is I need to reduce this coefficient. Can you type 120? And then divide by 136. Good. And then hit math, this button right here, and then enter 2 times. Go enter, enter. It's our favorite trick, right, guys? 15 over... Go ahead.
15 over 17.
Very good. So your new leading coefficient is 15 over 17. And then let's talk about this. Now, this is a little above your pay grade, first grader. We're supposed to subtract 1 minus 3, which is a trick answer because first graders don't understand negatives yet. But 1 minus 3 is really it's negative 2. Weird, right? So negative 2 means that we're going to have p squared down in the denominator. Algebra 2 kids totally know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you are struggling with factoring, if that's where you're like, man, I can do these, but every time a factoring question comes up, I struggle. These next couple questions are right up your alley because they're already factored. So you just need to come through and look for things that cancel. Remember that this is one giant fraction when it multiplies like this. So anything that's in the numerator and the denominator is going to knock out. Twins only, okay? So 4n and 4n are going to cancel out. N minus 9, n minus 9, n plus 5, n plus 5, and all you have left is an n plus 2. And if you wanted to get weird and say it was over 1, you can, but n plus 2 is the final simplification there on that question. Now 7 and 8, again, if you're having a problem with factoring, then you should be able to do 7 and 8 and still kind of show me I get that part of it. But remember, these are division questions. So because they're division questions, you need to reverse or flip the fraction that comes after the division. So usually I'm really lazy and I just kind of scribble some things.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be lazy on this one. Because if you're watching this video, you probably feel a little confused as it is. I don't want to confuse you more.
If I'm eating something, that would be a cookie.
What?
If I was eating something, it would be a cookie.
It's very random. All right, so we have m minus 8 times m plus 6 is now in the numerator. There's a daughter behind me. 1 is in the denominator. That's pretty boring.
I'm going with 8 times.
All right,
6.
guys, help me with this part. If you see something on the top and the bottom of the fraction, we got to cross it off.
8, 6.
Hold on. There's no 8, but I see an m minus 8.
M minus 8.
What else?
M plus 8.
M plus
Up there.
6. Yeah, you can't read my
And
writing. And that's it. All right, so what do we have left?
No. There's up there.
Oh,
too.
but yeah, you're right. But we don't look at the original problem anymore. We just look at this new version. So we still have an m plus 2. He's not going anywhere. And then we still have an m plus 9. And then Mrs. Abruzzo, being lazy, I just keep it like that. I don't foil it out. The key might have it foiled out, but I'm not gonna. All right, so now we gotta put all our thoughts together. These questions are not factored for you. So like I'm gonna skip around a little bit. I'm gonna look at number 10. And one thing I noticed about number 10 is that this numerator right here needs to factor. So I don't expect my little ones to understand what this means, but we're going to take out a common.
N plus 1.
We're going to take out a common factor between 10n squared and 100n. They both have a 10 inside of them as far as terms, and they both have an n. So we have.
We have to mix these together to make like 100.
Yeah,
My
hold on.
birthday.
Your birthday of 10. Yeah, she was born in 10. All right.
No.
I'm turning 10 and my name is Natalie.
Truth. She's turning 10. Her name is Natalie. 10n. She's 10n.
10N.
So we took a 10n out of this. You get n plus 10. All right. Nothing else in this problem changes. But what I like to do is write my factors in parentheses so I realize like they're their own thing, you know.
In a couple days, in a lot of years, they're going to turn 100.
All
And
true.
your name is Natalie.
All right, guys. Do you see anything that shows up at the top and the bottom of the fraction?
Hmm.
N plus 10.
N plus 10. Gone. Gone. So all we have left is 10n up in the numerator.
Mm.
And then we still have an n plus 1 in the denominator. I love when you guys leave these in parentheses so you don't accidentally cancel some things. Like, for instance, a lot of kids think you cancel those n's, and you don't, because it's n plus 1 in the denominator. So as you move along in this worksheet, they get more exciting, and you can determine which ones are really worth your while for practicing. And you want to make sure you practice this before you take your quiz on Friday. Do not attempt that quiz until you feel ready. You only get 2 chances, I believe. Otherwise, Mrs. Abruzzo is going to make you do more work. So let's take a look at something that's super exciting. I don't know. I'm looking at number 16. So first of all, I notice this is a division question, which means we're going to have to flip this fraction around.
10K.
Yeah, and then the other thing I notice is we got lots of factoring on this question. This one's going to factor, and this one's going to factor. This one's not, but this one is. Yeah. All right, so we're going to kind of multitask. We're going to factor and we're going to flip at the same
So
time.
that's with that?
Yeah, we're going to rewrite it now. So this green one, my kids would tell you got to take out a common factor of 7k squared. And if you take out or divide by a 7k squared, you still have a k minus 9. Now the blue one down there, he's going to get rewritten as a trinomial factoring problem. So one of these, k times k.
Let's see here.
Oh man, Sissy, this is a tricky puzzle if you want to help me out with it. I'm looking for numbers that multiply to 36. And 36 is like one of my favorite
Wow,
numbers.
a donut.
Because there's a lot of things that multiply to 36.
Why is it a
But the
donut?
other part of the puzzle, Sissy, is that they have to add up to negative 13. Don't worry about the negative, though. You've got a donut face. So 36 has a lot of factors. 6 and 6, 12 and 3, 9 and 4. Oh, 9 and 4 will work.
Whoa.
Don't do that. Sorry, kids. All right, so minus 9 and a minus 4.
The minus 4.
All right, so remember, this fraction flipped around. So this k minus 4 is now up in the numerator. And then down in the denominator, this red piece factors into minus 7 and minus 3. Won't that multiply to 21 and add up to negative 10? Okay.
I appeared from nowhere.
I'm telling you, I fed my kids sugary donuts for breakfast. I don't
I know.
really,
Fine.
I don't really
I'm
know what's
fine.
wrong with them.
I'm fine.
I fell.
All right, guys, here's the fun part. Tell me what you see at
Here's
top
the
and
fun
bottom.
part. She's trying to choke me.
What shows up at the top and bottom? What do you see?
K minus 4, K minus
Okay, hold on.
9.
K minus 4, K minus 9. And I think that's it. Good girl. All right, so you still have a 7K squared up in the numerator. Can you get off my arm? I can't write. This is why they don't have
What
take your
about
kid to
I
work
write?
day, guys. And
I
then
can write good.
down in the denominator, we have K
7K.
minus 7 and K minus 3. All right, so just remember that you guys are home doing algebra, but I'm home doing this. You win. All
She
right.
mostly deals with this one.
The Bears
Not
win.
me.
The Bears
I'm
win.
the
All right.
good.
If you're still struggling with this topic, shoot me an
This is
email, shoot me a message, and I'll help you through it.
Everybody
Make sure you do some quality jobs on those reflections. I'm getting some really cruddy answers, like, "How did you do?" And then people write, "Good." I want more than that. Okay. Tell me really how you're doing. All right. Bye.